telling you right now, that whole situation is crazy in itself. Ever since DeWanna Bonner been gone,
the drama surrounding Caitlin Clark in the WNBA continues to intensify. This time, Colin Cowherd has stepped into the firestorm with no hesitation. While the league finally basks in the long-awaited glow of mainstream attention and financial relevance, some of its own players seem to be missing the forest for the trees. One of those players is Kelsey Plum, whose recent comments not only stirred controversy, but also ignited a passionate response from Cowherd. One that laid bare the internal conflict threatening to split the league in two. It was more than just a commentary on a few all-star snubs or petty jabs. It was a call to recognize a generational transformation and stop biting the hand that's feeding them all. For decades, the WNBA struggled to gain footing. Players hustled through grueling travel schedules, flying budget airlines, staying in subpar hotels, and playing in half-empty arenas. Many fans didn't even know how to buy a jersey. The league was treated more like a social cause than a business, more charity than championship. And then Caitlin Clark happened. Practically overnight, everything changed. The league saw a 500% surge in merchandise sales. Attendance spiked by 40%. Games were sold out, TV ratings were soaring, and sponsorship money flowed in. It wasn't a slow burn, it was an explosion. The Indiana Fever, once a financial sinkhole, suddenly had a waiting list for season tickets. The transformation was so swift and seismic that comparing it to the rise of Michael Jordan in the NBA no longer feels like hyperbole, feels inevitable. But instead of celebrating this newfound prosperity, Kelsey Plum decided to use her platform to throw shade. During a media appearance, Plum noted that 0 members of Team Clark showed up to a player meeting about salary and working conditions. The implication? That Caitlin Clark wasn't standing in solidarity with her peers. But Colin Cowherd wasn't buying the narrative, and he didn't mince words. In a league that has gone from economy class to private jets because of one player, it seemed ludicrous to Cowherd that anyone would dare criticize the very person who made it possible. He used a metaphor that cut right to the heart of the matter. Imagine being in a band staying in a rundown Motel 6. You add one new member, and suddenly, you're performing sold-out shows and staying at the Ritz-Carlton. Do you criticize the new bandmater? Do you thank them for the upgrade? Cowherd made it crystal clear. Clark is that bandmate. She's the one who got them out of the Motel 6. The response to her success shouldn't be jealousy, it should be gratitude. But the pettiness runs deep. Nowhere was that more obvious than in the all-star voting results. Caitlin Clark finished 9th in player voting, 9th behind her own teammates. Fans ranked her first among guards, but her fellow players didn't see it the same way. This wasn't just a difference in opinion, it was a glaring example of internal resentment. Cowherd saw it for what it was: players biting the hand that feeds them. Players who had long cried foul over sexism, under-promotion, and lack of respect were now turning their backs on the very force that was reversing all of those trends. This isn't new in sports. When young phenoms arrive, there's always friction. LeBron James was scrutinized when he entered the NBA. Tiger Woods faced skepticism in golf. But what set those moments apart was the eventual recognition of greatness. Teammates adapted. Veterans made room, even if they didn't love the spotlight. Shifting, they understood what these athletes meant for the future of their sport. With Caitlin Clark, that respect hasn't come from within the WNBA. Cowherd wasn't afraid to say why. He hinted at something deeper, something uncomfortable. There's a racial component, he noted bluntly. Clark doesn't look like the player some of the veterans expected to usher in the WNBA's golden era. They wanted sold-out arenas, bigger paychecks, and a better collective bargaining agreement. But they didn't want it to come wearing Clark's jersey. And yet here it is. The wave has arrived. The only question is whether they'll ride it or drown in their own resentment. Clark isn't just popular, she's profitable. She made $11 million in endorsements this year. Sponsors aren't just showing up, they're lining up. The Indiana Fever built their entire marketing campaign around her. ESPN rearranged its programming for her. Social media can't get enough. Clark isn't just changing the WNBA. She's redefining what's possible for women's sports. She's doing it while taking hits, both literal and figurative. From players who can't handle the shift in power, Cowherd drew a sharp comparison to Michael Jordan, not just because of Clark's stats or her shooting range, but because of how she's being treated. Remember the Jordan rules? The physical, borderline violent defensive strategy the Pistons used to slow MJ down? That's Clark's reality now. She's getting hacked, shoved, and targeted every game. Officials don't seem to know how to protect her. Opponents don't seem to care. But just like Jordan, Clark keeps getting up. She keeps talking trash. She keeps hitting threes. She keeps winning. The Indiana Fever saw it coming. They traded for Sophie Cunningham, a player known more for her physical toughness than finesse. She's not just a teammate, she's an enforcer. Just like the Bulls brought in Charles Oakley to protect Jordan, the Fever brought in Cunningham to guard their golden goose. It's not just strategy, it's survival. The league might not know how to handle Clark, but the Fever do. They're building around her. They're planning for the future. Understand that this isn't just about basketball, it's about legacy. Cowherd emphasized that this is as bad as it's going to get for Clark. She's only getting better. Her trajectory mirrors Jordan's second season. After recovering from injury, a rocket ship pointed straight at greatness. The WNBA needs to recognize that they're witnessing the beginning of something iconic. Whether they like the packaging or not, Clark is the future. The choice is clear. Embrace her or get left behind. And some players are getting it right. Lexi Hull, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell. These are the names that will be remembered not just as great players, but as the ones who understood the moment. They didn't fight Clark's rise, they joined her. They supported her during injuries, celebrated her milestones, and built chemistry. That's turning Indiana into a real contender. They're building a dynasty, and they're doing it by playing smart, not bitter. Imagine what 2025 could look like if everyone got on board. Packed arenas every night. Jersey sales through the roof. Corporate sponsors flooding the league with deals. A new generation of girls growing up dreaming of playing in the WNBA because their hero made it look possible. That's the vision Cowherd sees. It's the opportunity sitting right in front of the league, and it's an opportunity they can't afford to miss. Cowherd compared Clark's impact to Conor McGregor in the UFC, or Steph Curry in the NBA. Every emerging league has that one transformational figure, the one who changes everything. But with that transformation comes a choice. Some players embrace the spotlight and rise with it. Others resist and fade into obscurity. Right now, the WNBA is on the brink of that divide. Clark's haters, they're not villains. They're just lost in the old mindset. They've been grinding for so long, they don't know how to accept success when it arrives. But success doesn't always show up looking how you expect. Sometimes it shows up in the form of a trash-talking 33-foot shooting phenom from Iowa. And the smart move is to get out of the way and let her lead. Because whether the veterans want to admit it or not, Caitlin Clark is the WNBA's face now. She's the ticket to financial stability, mainstream relevance, and generational change. Fighting against her is fighting against your own paycheck, your own platform, your own progress. Cowherd's final word: stop fighting the wave. Start riding. It's stop biting the hand that feeds you. Start protecting the golden goose. And maybe, just maybe, the WNBA will finally break through the ceiling that's held it back for so long. If you support Caitlin Clark and believe she's the golden goose of the WNBA, comment golden goose below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next episode of The Truth Behind Women's Basketball's biggest transformation.